What if an entire people vanished overnight, not leaving behind their skeletons, not even their bones, but only the faintest whisper of their presence, trapped in the dirt beneath their feet? This is not a work of science fiction. It is the story of Neanderthals, rewritten by something scientists now call dirty DNA. For generations, our picture of Neanderthals was built from fragments of bone and worn teeth, a femur here, a skull there, enough to recognize their heavy brows, powerful bodies, and ancient kinship with us. Yet fossils are scarce, and DNA inside them is fragile, often lost to time. Then came a revolution. Researchers learned how to extract genetic traces, not from bones, but from the earth itself. Tiny fragments of DNA, shed as skin flakes, blood, or waste, become bound to soil particles inside caves. That soil became a secret archive, a record invisible to the eye, but still waiting to be read. At the cave of Galería de las Estatuas in northern Spain, this method cracked open a mystery. For tens of thousands of years, one Neanderthal population called the cave home. Then, suddenly, they were gone. Another group genetically distinct, strangers in the very same land, took their place. The only witness to this drama was the dirt. Imagine standing inside that cave. Beneath your boots lies 100,000 years of human history, compressed into layers of soil. In the oldest layers, dating back more than 110,000 years, the DNA belongs to a Neanderthal lineage known from a femur in Germany, the Hohenstein-Stadel specimen. These Neanderthals were part of an older Western European branch. Their world was warmer, covered in oak and pine, where red deer and wild cattle roamed. They were powerful, yes, but their bodies still bore the hallmarks of a transitional form. Their limbs were strong but not yet as compact. Their rib cages broad but not yet the barrel-shaped lungs of Ice Age survivors. Their faces bore the signature Neanderthal mid-face, but their noses were narrower, less adapted to cold. They were survivors of a temperate Europe, not yet sculpted by glacial winds. Then the climate shifted. Forests retreated, grasslands spread, winters bit harder, and the older Neanderthals disappeared. By 100,000 years ago, a new population left its traces in the cave floor. Their DNA revealed connections to lineages stretching across Belgium, the Caucasus, even into Siberia. They were migrants, moving westward into Iberia. Their bodies told a different story, one of adaptation, of survival in ice-cloaked lands, shorter forearms and legs to preserve heat, barrel chests built for massive lungs, broad noses designed to warm freezing air, thick bones layered with muscle. These were the classic Neanderthals, the ones we imagine when we speak their name, the archetype of cold-adapted humanity. And they had replaced their predecessors completely. How did this happen? That question lingers like smoke in the cave's shadows. Some scientists suggest climate was the executioner. As conditions cooled, the older lineage could not keep pace with the changing world. Cold-hardened Neanderthals from the north, already forged in harsher environments, swept into Iberia and thrived where the others faltered. Others argue it might have been direct competition, conflict, scarcity, or simple demographic weight could have tipped the balance. Perhaps the newcomers had larger groups, better strategies, or sheer luck. What we know is this: the genetic record shows a sharp break. One population vanishes, another appears. The turnover is total. This discovery changes how we see Neanderthals. They were not a single, stable group, frozen in time. They were dynamic, expanding and contracting, migrating and disappearing, just as our own species has done. The cave at Estatuas shows two distinct waves of Neanderthal existence, two radiations. The older, represented by the HST lineage, tied to warmer Europe. The younger, sweeping in from the east, carrying the body form and the DNA that defined the classic Neanderthal. In that cave, we can see not just a genetic replacement, but also an anatomical one, a literal transformation of what it meant to be a Neanderthal. And here lies the true wonder. This story was not told by bones. In fact, estatuas had yielded only a single fragile toe bone, too delicate to test without destroying it. For decades, that bone was all archaeologists had, whispering that a Neanderthal once walked the cave. It was the silent, ignored dirt that told the rest of the tale. By sifting genetic fragments from the soil, scientists uncovered the rise and fall of entire populations. They learned that Iberia, often thought of as a last refuge, was not immune to change. It too was caught in the wider web of migration and replacement that stretched across Europe and Asia. The dirt spoke louder than the bone. And in its voice, we hear that even Neanderthals were not safe from the great drama of history. So, what does this mean for us? It reminds us that human storylines, whether Neanderthal or Homo sapiens, are not straight lines, but turbulent waves. Populations rise, spread, vanish, others replace them. Our existence is fragile, shaped by climate, competition, and chance. The Neanderthals at Estatuas show us that survival is never guaranteed, not even for a people who endured for hundreds of thousands of years. When we look into the dirt, we are not just looking back, we are also looking forward. One day, our traces too will lie scattered in soil and stone. Will future generations see our story as stable or as fleeting as the Neanderthals? That is the mystery, and it is still unfolding. If you want to follow more of these hidden histories, join us on Prehistoric Shadows, where we explore not just what we know about the past, but the haunting questions it still asks of us.